role of the Nigerian police in the crisis in Rivers State. Because for the Nigerian police or for the court to say police should not provide security is an aberration in the democratic system. Because the nature of our democratic system, when you call something a federation, that means you have a federal, state, and local government. And this third tier of government, which is the local government of, within the federation, has its own place in our law. And the greatest one of the biggest reforms for the local government in Nigeria was the 1976 reforms. For what we are saying now, the Supreme Court has given an ultimatum for a local government election to be conducted. And then a court set up to say that police should not provide security, and they should not give register for the CX. CX are not subordinate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. They share the same authority under the Constitution. When I tell people that we have 36 state electoral bodies in Nigeria, plus INEC is 37, most people don't understand. Because CX, if you go to section 197, you will see that what CX are, they are autonomous bodies that are created under the state executive branch. So one of the things that the government has done that have exacerbated the crisis in Rivers State is the fact that the police played active role in trying to sabotage the democratic process. And the government must show that the Nigerian police force must start to learn some basic ethics, that they are not there to serve the appointing authority, but to be loyal to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu should learn to try to be able to be constructive enough to tell these persons who are in the position of office. When the police was withdrawn from the secretariat, I was very sure that it was meant to cause havoc. It was meant to be able to leave that place unsecured, to leave it not unsecured. But when you saw what happened thereafter, you will see that if the police were there, such events wouldn't happen. So the president must know that to keep Nigeria safe, which is the primary purpose of governance, which is to provide security for life and property, because in the absence of this, the nation cannot prosper. In the absence of this, foreign direct investment will not come, because if the community is not secure, people are not going to come to want to invest. So security is very paramount for both property and for life, so that people can invest and be sure that their investment will be done. So the key thing for the president is to equip the police more, is to give them reorientation and ensure that they get the proper training that is required to make sure that all Nigerians are equal before the law, and that there's no one law for the masses, one law for the opposition, and one law for the ruling government. That is not how a democratic system is played. And for the advice, there have been several times we have offered advice to government. This is not the first time. People talked about when he was coming in, he had not even resumed office to check the system, to check what is going on. And he said subsidy was gone. That brought the untold hardship to our people, increasing transportation fare by almost 300%. And you know one thing about transport. Transport dovetail into every cost of everything. Transport increased cost of services, cost of goods and farm products. That brought inflation. Food inflation, as I'm talking to you, is over 40%. Headline inflation is over 32%. We don't know what inflation we would do after yesterday's increase. Because those who have goods and services, we want to also, even up and make profit. So the president must sit down and know that if he had come into office and put himself up before election, he should be able to sit with professionals and set up a system that will be responsive and responsible to the pains that Nigerians are currently going through. The pains is too much. I'm telling you, if you are from this country and you are from a community, you must say the truth. Let's leave tribal, let's leave religious, let's leave the other primordial sentiments that have been used to separate us, that have been used to divide us. It is our responsibility to call the president to come and work for the Nigerian people. We are here as opposition. We are talking about opposition. It's not a funny thing. Anybody can be a member of any party. We are here because it's to keep the sanctity of the democratic process in place. Because if we are not here and we run a one-party system as the party in power is trying to drive today, let me tell you, Nigerians will suffer more. We are here risking our life, risking our freedom, risking our resources. There's no sponsorship anywhere. To speak the truth, because we want Nigeria to work. Because we have no other country that we can call our own. And the only way Nigeria can work, for me, our public secretary has spoken very well, is to get an electoral reform. The president is keeping quiet, is pretending as if all is well with our electoral system. Our electoral reform must be on the top burner today. If the president knows what he's doing has made him popular, it will make up an electoral reform so that we will stop this coalition hijacking and stealing of electoral votes, just like we witnessed in Edo. It should stop so that the people can account for the leaders they have elected and hold them accountable. When leaders know that when they go to election, they will either be rejected or accepted by the people, there will be some work in progress for the benefit of all mankind that lives within the sovereignty called Nigeria. That is the purpose. The primary is that we get an electoral system. It is the foundation for all good things to come. An electoral system that people will cast their vote and their vote will count. We cannot continue with this stealing of vote and allocating votes that are meant for one party to another party. Where you find at the election, after the election, those who win do not get celebrated, and those who lost get celebrated. Then there's criminality in the process. The reason why beavers and the amount of money that Nigerians are spent into beavers, into IRF, is not making sense. It's because even the court is giving politicians a way to manipulate them. The system in only an egalitarian society, even if we can't achieve that, is a system that sees that a man born in Ogbomosho, a young boy born in Agege, a young boy born in Ikeja, the one born in Obiakpo, the one born in Owerri, and the one born in FCT have an equal state towards struggle for a better life within the country we call Nigeria. There's a problem in this country. We're speaking up because the government have abandoned their sole responsibility to make life better for the people. Now, if you go to social media, what do they call the president? T-pain. People are going through pains. The cost of living has skyrocketed over the roof. Nigerians cannot continue like this, and it is important that we all take our responsibility seriously. When you talk about CUPP is a coalition that was formed when Olaguse Oyinlola was the chairman, when he became the chairman. CUPP is a coalition formed not for political party alone. There was national intervention movement headed by Tafa Balewa. So there was other associations that we come together in forming CUPP. Yes, but from the name it suggests, we have other parties like the ADC. If you know their headquarters, their office is there. Like the Action Alliance, like the APP that won today, that won in DC. We are all part of CUPP, signatory to CUPP. If you want to see the signature, I can give to you. When Oyinlola became chairman, he wasn't the national chairman of a political party. When Buba Galadima was the deputy chairman, he wasn't the national chairman of a political party. When Ben Obi was there, he wasn't the national. It is not meant to be national. It is meant that the coalescing parties who are from different political viewpoints come together to form a formidable defense system for the protection of our democratic process, and including civil society. So I thank you very much to know that this collective struggle to save this country.
We welcome you to this World Press Conference as organized by the Coalition of United Political Parties, which we have titled, Nigeria is sinking deeper under President Tinubu. Nigeria is sinking deeper under President Tinubu. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, opposition political leaders here present, fellow Nigerians. First, we'd like to display the ignorant rumor that CUPP is a coalition of deregistered political parties. That is a lie from the pit of hell, being orchestrated by the state actors who feel threatened by our consistent calling out of this failed government. For instance, I'm a card-carrying member of the Labour Party here in Abuja. Same with the secretary of the coalition, Chief Peter Ame, Barrister Mecca Benjamin, a member of the steering committee of CUPP, is a member of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. So for everybody on this platform that belongs to one political party or the other. So everyone you see on this set is a member of one registered political party or the other. Therefore, ignore the devil propaganda, the evil propaganda that we are political lovers. It is a deliberate propaganda of falsehood against a vibrant opposition that gets them afraid. And they had better be afraid. They had better be afraid. We are once again gathered here today to address you on the state of the Nigerian nation. As a patriotic and responsible opposition coalition, we have a mandate to interrogate the socio-economic and political status of our dear country periodically and speak truth to power in defense of justice, democracy, and in the overall interests of the country. Despite the tyrannical tendencies of the current APC administration, which is misusing the authority of government to silence the voices of the people, we refuse to be gagged or intimidated by the repressive forces of state. We will continue to speak for Nigerians and stand firm on the cause of justice, fairness, and good governance. To start with, less than 24 hours ago, in spite of the harrowing economic conditions of the country, orchestrated by the atrocious economic policies of the Tinubu administration, the pump price of fuel was again increased to over 1,000 naira per litre. In less than 1.5 years of the Tinubu administration, fuel prices have been increased by over 2,000%, which has exponentially increased poverty, hunger, and general suffering of Nigerians, as persistently unleashed on us by a totally insensitive and wicked administration. This is not the Nigeria we envisaged at the return of democracy in 1999. In addition, the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu merely pays lip service to local government autonomy, whilst in practice it is working actively to undermine the autonomy and stability of local government across the country. We are all living witnesses to the carnage and reckless violence unleashed on Rivers State people last Saturday during the recently held government election in that state. That act of brigandage is not only reprehensible but actually criminal and terroristic in nature. What happened there in Rivers State was tantamount to state-sponsored terrorism. What they failed to achieve by bullets and bombs in Rivers State, they are also trying to achieve by other means in Lagos State and to extend it systematically to other states. The whole idea is to cripple local government administration and turn it into the errant organ of the federal government. There is a deliberate, systematic onslaught against local government autonomy by this pretentious Tinubu administration. For instance, what is currently playing out in Lagos State, which is the home state of the president or his adopted state, on the local government administration is extremely worrisome. There is a serious attempt to subjugate the local governments under the authority of the State Assembly in Lagos State to the extent that, judging by the current shenanigans of constitutional amendments to local government administration in Lagos State, currently being undertaken by the Lagos State House of Assembly, the control of market is to be taken away from local governments and put under the purview of Lagos State House of Assembly. How ridiculous. How could a legislative arm want to take over the executive responsibilities of a local government that has elected executive councils complete with its own legislative arm? It is a known fact that the current Speaker of the Lagos State Assembly is a close ally of the President, and it is clear that he couldn't be orchestrating such constitutional aberration without the direct prompting of his boss in Abuja. Therefore, it can safely be said that the President is trying to undermine local government councils through his proxies. If what is playing out in Lagos against the unequivocal judgment of the Supreme Court on local government autonomy is allowed to stand, it may spread to other states and further render local government prostrate and ineffective. Authorities in Lagos State over the years allowed Lagos State House Assembly to cross the line of decency, which they are also trying to replicate at the National Assembly. And this has given rise to the legislature that is usurping the powers of governor and the local government. Is Lagos House of Assembly bigger than the people who elected the LG chairman or their councils who have the legal powers to remove the hearing chairman? If this is allowed to happen in Lagos State, it will spread to other states, right under our very watch, and we will not allow it. This is utter nonsense, arbitrariness, ignorance, hypocrisy, arrogance, incompetence, recklessness, and lawlessness, has even been demonstrated by the current administration at the federal level. How can the House of Assembly be purporting to do this and defend it? They have been getting away with this nonsense in the past, but enough is enough. Even the issue of market control, which led to the purported suspension of a local government chairman in Alimocho, is squarely on the residual list reserved for local government legislative arm. What is the business of a state assembly dabbling into that? Moreover, anything that has to do with crimes and insecurity is the responsibility of the police and the governor, who is the chief executive of the state. Like in their fraudulent renewed hope mantra, it is clear that their claim of promoting local government autonomy is a mere mirage and grand scheme to dominate local governments whilst undermining the governors. It is another grand scheme in preparation for their 2027 ambition to manipulate themselves back into power. All Nigerians can see clearly and feel the full effects of the horrible records of this government in the areas of the terminalistic economy, appalling insecurity, horrible human rights regime, political persecution under the guise of fighting corruption, unprecedented hunger. Suicide rate has become an epidemic under the grossly under this grossly incompetent Tinubu administration. There is no excuse valid enough for the atrocious and murderous neoliberal economic policies of this government. It only goes to demonstrate the fact that Tinubu government has nothing good for Nigerians, other than extreme hardship and unmitigated suffering. We make bold to re-emphasize that Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu prepared very well to become the president of Nigeria, but never prepared to govern Nigeria well. That is the major factor in the current calamitous state of the nation. While we call on Nigeria to remain resilient, we appeal to them to cooperate and collaborate with the opposition political parties to free them from the undeserved suffering that the Tinubu administration has unleashed on them in the last 14 months of relentless state socio-economic terrorism. In 2027, we, the people, must organize democratically to make this happen, and Nigerians should trust us to make this happen. Am I speaking your minds?
Yes, sir.
We are not unaware of the clandestine sabotage activities of state agents against opposition figures and political parties. All the crises you witness today in some opposition parties are deliberate external interferences by state agents to cripple the opposition. But we promise them that they will fail. We are strong as ever, and we will not abdicate our mandate and responsibility to rescue Nigeria and Nigerians from the retrogressive forces that are holding Nigeria captive at the moment. Aluta continua, Victoria Asata. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening attention. My name is Comrade Mark Adebayo, opposition spokesperson.